Donkey Kong has been redesigned once again, and spoiler alert, not a big fan, but I'll get to more of that in a bit. Nintendo's first international success as a video game company came with the 1981 arcade release of Donkey Kong. To salvage unused arcade cabinets from a failed game, Radar Scope, Shigeru Miyamoto was tasked with developing a new title. He originally wanted to make a game based on Popeye, where the player would navigate Popeye through puzzle levels to save olive oil from the villain Bluto. When a licensing deal fell through, Miyamoto created original characters instead, and thus Donkey Kong, Pauline, and Mario were born. He also cited Beauty and the Beast, and more obviously King Kong, as additional influences. The name Donkey Kong came from combining the stubbornness of a donkey with the idea of a giant ape. 3 original games were released under the Donkey Kong title, but soon Nintendo shifted focus towards spin-offs starring the now iconic Mario, which clearly was a good call. Donkey Kong went on hiatus until 1994, when Rare revived him for Donkey Kong Country for the SNES. At the time, this game looked unlike anything we'd ever seen. Though the sprites were technically pixel art, the pre-rendered style gave everything a pseudo-3D look. DK himself also got a makeover. Rare modified Miyamoto's concept art, giving Donkey Kong a furrowed brow, upturned spiky hair, high shoulders, a more muscular build, and some seriously chonky hands. It was a big shift from the derpy-friendly DK of the arcade days, but Miyamoto approved. Over the next 20 years, Nintendo and Rare, along with a few other developers, released a number of Donkey Kong games. His design varied slightly depending on the title, but generally stayed within the bounds of either the classic Nintendo style or Rare's edgier version. After 2014's Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, DK went on another game-related hiatus until he reappeared in 2023 on the big screen. With the Super Mario Bros. Movie, Illumination gave us a fresh take on Donkey Kong. While there's definitely some Seth Rogen baked into his face, this DK feels like a hybrid between the friendlier Nintendo look and Rare's more intense version. The biggest change? His brow is no longer stuck in a permanent furrow, giving him a wider range of expressions. His eyes are also slightly larger and less buggy, which softens his overall look. Then, at the beginning of 2025, we got our first peek at the next Nintendo console, the Switch 2. In its reveal teaser, we saw a glimpse of a new Mario Kart game and a tiny look at DK's face.
He looked very different. He looks closest to the Mario movie version of DK.
Donkey Kong looks way different. A lot of people are saying that it looks like the movie Donkey Kong.
A lot of people think they've seen enough to declare that they hate how this looks.
Yep, DK's been redesigned again. Some people hated it, some people loved it. I was actually into it, but there wasn't enough in that teaser to form a solid opinion, so I held off. Then April 2nd hit and Nintendo dropped their first Switch 2 Direct. That was followed by 2 days of Treehouse Live presentations, giving us a deeper look at the new Mario Kart and the surprise title, Donkey Kong Bananza. DK's only had one 3D platforming game in the last 40 years until now. We got a premiere trailer and plenty of gameplay via Treehouse, and honestly, it looks awesome. But let's talk about that redesign. In both Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bananza, Nintendo seemed to adopt Illumination's more expressive brow line and softer eyes, and I'm down. It gives DK way more emotional range, and I hope they continue developing his character now that he's able to portray more expressions. But, and it's a big but, with more expressions comes some unfortunate choices. Mainly the shots with his bugged out Looney Tunes style eyes. In theory, it should be funny or charming, but in practice it looks just kinda dumb. Some of his new expressions even give off Ganondorf's Tears of the Kingdom creepy smile vibes. Then there's these moments where they give him this floppy tongue like he's impersonating a dog or impersonating a person impersonating a dog. Just give him ape-like expressions maybe? Then there's the updated aspects of his model. His new nostrils are super pronounced now, which makes the whole mouth area thing look kind of like a Battletoad's head. And then his lips are just too defined. Remember when Sonic had lips?
Meow.
Not every anthropomorphic character needs them, it just feels off here. But I think my biggest gripe is the fur. He's covered in this overlapping shingled pattern of polygonal planes with a stylized fur illustration graphic on it. From certain angles you can see a white underside to it, which sometimes reads like subsurface scattering or rim lighting, but mostly just looks off. The fur also has a weird, constant shine to it, and sure, apes are probably greasy, but the promo art makes him look much more soft and floofy, so it just doesn't translate the same. I also realized that in-game designs almost never look as good as the promotional art, but still. Considering the Switch 2 is being compared to a PS4 Pro or even PS5 in some cases, you'd think they'd go all in on trying to make the fur look amazing, like how Monster Hunter or Black Myth Wukong's creatures look enchantingly fuzzy and alive. I know DK's fur isn't super long or flowy, but even matching the quality of the promo art would have helped. Or they could have gone a more stylized route, something like how Fortnite represents hair or fur as solid shapes with little peaks and tufts, but instead we get this. It is also kind of a weird choice for them to have made this redesign right after opening up the Donkey Kong expansion at Universal Florida's Epic Universe, where they have a life-sized rare-style DK hanging out waiting to get photos with guests. I wonder if they'll swap out his head at some point. Plus, last year, Nintendo put out 3 games with the rare-style DK in them: Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Mario Party Jamboree, and Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Then at the start of this year, they give him a new face. Now, I'm not all doom and gloom about this redesign. There's a lot that I do like about it. Some of his expressions are really fun, cute, charming, or funny, but there's just kind of an inconsistency there. Like, make him that way across the board instead of giving him these bad moments. The promotional art is incredible, and several points throughout the gameplay footage do look great with what they've done, but yeah. I'm sure the style will grow on me while actually playing the game, but for right now, I just wish I was more of a fan. That being said, this is just the beginning of a new era for Donkey Kong, and I'm curious to see where they take him next. Anyway, what do you think of DK's new look? Love it? Hate it? If you could change something, what would it be? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you liked this video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe for more. If you want to check out my video on the evolution of Nintendo Directs, go ahead and click the link right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.